read Acts chapter 7. This will get you through everything. It's easy to read. But what's interesting here, and this gives you some side notes of teachings about how Stephen shares the good news. What he does is he retells the Old Testament, but via the Greek translation, which is what he probably learned it from, not the Hebrew. And we see that here because it says that but a famine came over into Egypt and to Canaan. So this is talking about now Jacob, his 12 sons. Remember Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat? We're at that part that Stephen's recapping. And he talks about that there was this great misery and our ancestors ran out of food. So Jacob, so the father of Joseph, heard that there was still grain in Egypt. So he sent his sons, our ancestors, to buy some. So again, Stephen's making a point that we are all part of this group of 12 families from the very beginning. We're all tied to this. And the second time they went, Joseph revealed his identity to his brothers. They were introduced to Pharaoh. So Joseph, and again, I want to ruin the story of Joseph. We'll get to that when we do beginnings with Immerse. But Joseph is in Egypt, thanks to really his brothers, but really the will of God working through what people had bad plans for him. God used it for good. So because of who Joseph is, he has his brothers introduced to Pharaoh. Then Joseph sent for his father, Jacob, and all his relatives, 75 persons in all. So Jacob went to Egypt. He died there, as did our ancestors. Their bodies were taken to Shechem, buried in the tomb of Abraham, and brought for a certain price for Haman's son in Shechem. What that refers to is when Abraham's wife, Sarah, dies. Abraham didn't own land, so he had to buy a little piece of land, a plot which had a cave so he could bury his wife. And so what Stephen's making a point here, when he's about to be stoned, is making that this faith that we have, we're still connected. This is something we share with one another. We are with each other. So again, if you need a reading of the Old Testament, Acts chapter 7 is a great way to get a cliff notes of everything. What's going to end up happening here is that Stephen will be stoned. Because again, people are angry. People want to stop this faith that's being shared, this relationship with Jesus. But because of this persecution, we'll read in chapter 8, the church finally does something that was, in my opinion, was trying not to do. Which was trying to reach other nations, and I mean by that is other cultures and races. The church really wanted to be a Jewish-centric, yet Jesus said go to Samaria and to the ends of the world. Well, because of this persecution happened to Stephen, we will see that the church has to spread. Philip will then go and bring another of the apostles, will go and actually share that good news in Samaria. And from there, Gentiles will hear about it. And the last little person in our reading today was the person who watched Stephen get stoned, who held everybody's coat so they can pick up the stones and chuck it, was a guy named Saul. We're going to learn and read more about him, but this Saul will become Paul, and one of the most giant, biggest evangelists, philosophers, writers, founders, a whole bunch of words of the Christian faith. So again, today we had a lot of reading today of a lot of different areas in the book of Acts. And again, I am Pastor Rob Bailey from South Lake Church, and we're just a group of people who come together to help people engage, grow, and share Jesus in their community relationships. And we love to have that relationship with you to help you, support you through your spiritual journey. And if you're kind of curious about the readings that we're doing on a daily basis, where we are at, and being a part of this, we'd love to invite you Saturday mornings, 8 a.m., as Jessica Leach leads us in the 4 questions. And the questions are, was there something new today? So for example, did you hear something you have not heard before? We'd love to hear that. Do you have questions? And I bet you do, especially since somebody of great faith like Stephen gets killed for it. Why did God let that happen? Has your perspective of God changed? And this idea that Stephen saw that this relationship of God stems from the Old Testament to the present, and we're all a part of it. Or will this make an impact in how you live your life today? Well, these are the things we discuss and talk about together as a group. Not just one person, but all of us. And if you'd like to be a part of that and have an invitation, just send an email at rbailey@gdlc.org, and we'd love to gather with you. Because here at Southlake, we engage, grow, and share Jesus in our community relationships, and we'd love for you to be a part of that. God bless. You guys have a great week.